This video is going to focus on People's Choice Classic users who use just the Payroll Disbursements module only and want to convert to the People's Choice accounting system and run their system on a bookkeeping cash basis like they do in People's Choice Classic accounting. There are 4 possible configurations with People's Choice Classic accounting, and there's 2 bookkeeping configurations and 2 accounting configurations. This video is going to focus specifically on those People's Choice Classic users who just use the Payroll Disbursement module. And so when they first go into their People's Choice company, you just see Payroll Disbursements on your menu. And so when you click on this, you go to day-to-day operations, and we're going to cover how checks that are entered into People's Choice Classic, which is done from here, and also the deposits and the receipts, how receipts are entered into People's Choice accounting and how deposits are made. And then we will show a report that is the equivalent to the expense receipts and disbursements recap report, as well as it also is going to provide a true income statement in addition to the receipts and disbursement recap report. So once your backup is provided to Safe Choice of your People's Choice Classic program, we will proceed to convert it, and so your chart of accounts, all your check history, all your deposit history, as of a certain start date, will be brought over into the People's Choice accounting program. So as a conversion, you would have everything in that was in your People's Choice Classic system. But once you're converted, what's a little bit different in the way we've set this up is to set it up to operate as a bookkeeping type system, even though once we convert it, you are going to have assets, liabilities, revenue, cost of goods, expense, and other revenue is going to be other receipts, other expense is going to be other disbursements. So in your bookkeeping procedures, you would be going to banking, just like you go into day-to-day and go into enter a manual computer check. You would go in and look at create checks. We're going to create a check with the checking account. Click new, and this will bring up a check very similar to when you are here and fill in a check. You would go ahead and you would put in a date, and in our case, we're going to go back and do an entry back in January. I want to make it January 28th. Select date, and we're going to put in an amount, and we'll just say the amount is $450. And then here is when you normally go here and hit F5. This is the same as when you do the drop-down list here. So I'm going to select the ABC Marketing Company, and this is for advertising. And you can see, just like when you selected a vendor in Classic, when you select this converted vendor, it's going to go ahead and fill in the same default expense account like you had set up in Classic. And instead of saving it, you are going to click on the post. And that's how you enter in a check in the People's Choice accounting system, with the comparison of how you would be entering it in the Classic system. As far as the deposits go, when you are recording deposits, you have a cash receipts journal, and you have that can be made into a deposit. So the process in the People's Choice accounting system for a batch deposit, you would just click new, put in the $1,000, and this may be another put a loan payment or a note proceeds. Got $1,000 from the bank. We'll just call it a bank loan. And we would save it or post it. If you were creating the receipts journal in the People's Choice Accounting is via the deposit slip. So if you're going to have a receipts, you would go into the deposit slip, and here's where you would list your receipts. So if you you got something in from Abby Normal, and their check number was $236, and the amount was $500. You could put a memo of the fee, and then down here you would select probably service income, or whatever your chart of accounts would be for them. And then if you had another receipt, and it's and this is for $1,000, and it's consulting, and you would maybe put it to training income for $1,000. So those are two individual receipts. You could click done. Again, they would normally be entered in your receipts journals here, but when you click done, it will automatically create the deposit for you. So the $1,500 is, and it can be itemized. If you want to click and print it out, it'll show what your total deposit is. In this case, the $1,500. But here's an itemization of which checks are in this deposit that make up the $1,500. So those are the two basic processes of entering in checks, entering in deposits. If you'd like to look at it in a format that's similar to the classic, you can go to the banking journals, and you can see all the checks that have been created and are listed here. Shows the bank balance just like it shows the bank's balance up here. So on a cash basis, what we've done, so when you go to do an income statement, the income statement is, and we're just going to put in 1, 2, 2. We're just going to do it for 1 month. Just put it into a single column, and we click print, and you can see that this is very similar to the Receipts and Disbursement Recap that you do in the People's Choice Classic program. Here's our income, actual income, and so far it's $6,750. Our cost for some of what we sold up here, for the hardware probably, and maybe for the software, our cost. So our gross profit is $4,250. And then we had these expenses that have come up in here. So our total expenses was $1,575. And so our actual income from a tax reporting standpoint would be $2,675. But we have other receipts. We have a loan proceeds of $5,000. And we have other loan payments and equipment purchases for $312.50, $1,550. So this $61.25 would be the equivalent of what you would have in your People's Choice Classic Receipts and Disbursements Recap. It includes all receipts, not just revenue receipts, but receipts and the loan proceeds, and not just expenses, but expenses plus note payments and equipment purchases. So this is your net receipts and disbursement recap figure down here, but up here is your actual taxable income based on just your revenue, cost of goods, and your expenses. So that's how the People's Choice accounting program can be operated as a bookkeeping system, similar to how it's managed with the People's Choice Classic accounting, when only the payroll and disbursement module are used in the Classic program.